Hi, I'm Simon with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we're going to show you how to repair your appliance. Are you ready? Remember, anytime you work on your appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there is no chance of electrocution. Also, make sure you turn off the water supply to the washer. In this video, we'll show you how to replace the seal which goes on the top of the tub support bearings in a Whirlpool washer. It's going to be a relatively easy job and shouldn't take long for us to show you how to do it. For this job, we're going to need a Phillips and a flathead screwdrivers, a pair of pliers, some grease, a spanner wrench, a plastic mallet, a socket wrench, some fine sandpaper, a turbine oil, an extension, 7/16 and a 1/2 inch socket heads, and 1 1/4 and 1 1/8 socket heads. Also, we would need some penetrating oil. When you open up the package, you're going to get a new seal. The shaft seals are used for preventing water to getting into the transmission or through the basket drive. One of the shaft seals is located on the top of the basket drive, and the second one is located on the top of the pinion gear that is on the top of the transmission. In case if you see oily, rusty water running along the agitator down on the transmission, the shaft seals should be checked and replaced if needed. Open the lid. Remove by pulling it straight up the liquid fabric softener dispenser. Some models has a locking ring around. To remove one of those, lift up the ring to unlock it and pull the dispenser out. Remove the inner cap by pulling it up. Next, we need to take the center bolt out. Hold the lower agitator and using the 7/16 inch socket wrench with the extension, unscrew the bolt. Use both of your hands and grab the agitator from underneath and pull it up off the shaft. We need to open the console. It's held in place by the 2 screws, one in each corner at the back of the console. Using the Phillips screwdriver, take those screws out just a bit more than halfway until the console gets loose. Pull the console forward to disengage it from the cabinet at the bottom and lift it up. Use the flathead screwdriver to lift the tab and disconnect the wire plug. Now we need to detach the cabinet. Using the flathead screwdriver, pry out 2 retainer clips in the corners. Tilt the cabinet towards you and remove it from the base. The water brake is next. It's going to be on the way, and to avoid breaking it, we will take it off. Using the pliers, squeeze and slide the hose clamp. Pull the hose out the water brake. It may have some water inside, so use a towel. Pull the sides outward, holding them at the bottom. Lift it up to release the top tabs and remove the water brake. Using the pliers, remove the clamp, and then remove the agitator washer. For the next step, you will need a spanner wrench, part number TJ90TB123A, that you can get from AppliancePartsPros.com. The price is very reasonable. Using the hammer or the plastic mallet and the spanner wrench, loosen up and unscrew the spanner nut by turning it counterclockwise. Now we have got to remove the tub ring. Push down the ring above each of the locking tabs with one hand and unlock the tab with the other hand. Make sure you open all of the tabs and leave the tub ring off. The next step is removing of the inner tub. Squirt on some penetrating oil and hammer it with a rubber mallet to break loose. Rock it side to side. After it's broken loose, carefully lift it out. It's kind of heavy, so you might get a second person to help you lifting it up. Using the spanner wrench, knock off the drive block and remove it. And next we need to put the washer on its back. We need to use some kind of support. I'm going to use this gorgeous looking wooden box. Make sure that the water inlet hoses and the drain hose are not on the way. You may need to have a second person because it could be heavy for you. Let's put the rag or the towel underneath of the washer because we might have an oil dripping down from the transmission. Using the flat blade screwdriver, pop open top and bottom drain pump clamps. Turn each of them 90 degrees to free from the motor case and then remove them. Pull the drain pump off the motor shaft and move it out of the way. Using the flat blade screwdriver, leave the tab and disconnect the motor plug. Open the retainer clamp with a flat blade screwdriver and remove the wires. Place them aside. Now after we disconnect the motor plug, we're going to use this 1/2-inch socket wrench and remove 3 mounting bolts that hold the transmission. What I do, I'm going to loosen up this one, and then I'm going to take out the bottom one and the right side one. All right, now we're going to take it out. We're going to drop down a little bit transmission and remove this bolt. You need to kind of hold it because it's heavy, and we can take out the transmission. Okay, we don't need it for now, so we're going to take it away, put it somewhere where the kids are not going to play with it. I'm going to lift the washer up. We need to remove the stop seal. Using the flat blade screwdriver, clean all the garbage and rust around the seal. Spray some penetrating oil around the seal. For more excitement, I'm going to use a mallet. And the final stage, I use a pair of pliers and rip this sucker out, if it will go. Piece of cake. See how it's corroded? This is the old seal next to the new one. If you don't have this part, you can get it from appliancepartspros.com. I'll put more degreaser. Wipe it out. The bottom seal is filled up with the grease. So after we clean everything, because we are taking out the grease from the bottom seal, we'll have to repack it. Next, I'm going to use some fine sandpaper. I'm gonna just clean the tube from inside, spraying it again. And cleaning it again. Now we're going to put some grease on the lower seal inside the groove. Here's the new seal. We're going to put some turbine oil in it so it will go in easier. Okay, spread it around a little bit and then position it into the opening. To press it in, I'm going to use 1¼ inch socket head. It's larger than opening, but I'm going to use it just to sit it down as far as possible. Here, middle of metal, that means it's in as far as I can do it with this head. I'll bring in smaller, 1 1/8. As you can see, the new seal is in. Let's put the washer on its back again. Alright, before putting the transmission in, I would like to point you at one very important detail. This spring and the clutch should not be at the same position as this cam tooth. So in our case, it's positioned correctly, but if it will be somewhere here, that is not good. So before we install it, turn it anyway, so it would not meet with the tooth on the cam. And then we're going to put the transmission in. Careful, it's kind of heavy. Alright, and now we're going to secure it with 3 1/2-inch bolts. I'm going to first put this one. Guess why? Because it's the easiest one. And then we're going to use 1/2-inch socket wrench. And put the rest of the bolts. Alright, next the drain pipe goes on the motor shaft. We need to match the position of the slot here on the pump with the motor shaft. See the cuts on the motor shaft? And we're going to use this little clamp. And I'm going to turn this just a little bit. Probably a bit more. The pump is on. We're going to secure it with the 2 clamps. Put it into the opening in the motor casing. Then we're going to push it on the pump. And the second one goes the same way. Insert, turn, and push on. There we go. Next will be to connect the wire harness onto the motor plug. And the last thing, before we're going to put the washer upright, we're going to put the wire harness into the clamp. Spread it out, put the wires in, and squeeze it, lock. That's it. Ready to go upright. Let's remove the towel And then we can put the washer upright. Alright. Next we're going to put a drive block on the basket drive. Note please that we're going to match the cutouts in the drive block with the two metal prongs on the basket drive. And then we're going to hammer it down. Be careful, don't get excited. Alright, now the time for inner basket. Alright, let's put the spanner knot. Now we're going to start it manually, turning it clockwise. Then we're going to use the spanner wrench. We already used it to take it out. And then tighten that knot. Next we're going to put on the top of the shaft agitator washer. If you notice, that pin goes into the opening. Next we're going to put the clip on. Okay, now we're going to install the tab ring. There's lots of locking pins here and the tabs. So we're going to match this opening and this tab. We're going to start with this one. Make sure all of them outside. Push it down and lock. Then you can do it on the opposite side. And then the rest of them. Open the lid, grab the cabinet through the lid with both hands and bring it to the front of the washer. Slide the front edge of the cabinet under the base and lower the cabinet down so all 4 tabs goes into the slots. Push the rear panel in so the cabinet is flush with the rear panel. Hold it with one hand and install the retainer clip with unhooked end inside the rear panel and push it down to lock in. Repeat the procedure on the opposite side. Reconnect the wire plug. To close the console, we need to match the clips at the bottom with the cutouts in the cabinet and slide the console back to lock it in. Using the Phillips screwdriver, secure the console with the 2 screws at the back of the console. Now it's time for the agitator. Matching the agitator splines with the shaft splines, slide the lower agitator onto the transmission shaft and push it all the way down. Place the truss spacer washer on the new lower agitator. Install the top agitator on. Match the 4 cutouts in the short cam with the 4 posts of the lower agitator and push the cam with the agitator dogs down. Insert the bolt in the center opening and using the 7/16" socket wrench, tighten it. You will have to use the one hand to hold the lower agitator and tighten the bolt with the second hand. Next goes the inner cap. Put some liquid soap on the cap seal, this way it will go in easier, and install the cap. Snap on the liquid softener dispenser. Push down the locking ring if there is one. Close the lid. Turn the water on. Plug the washer back in and make sure there's no leaks. Thank you for being a part of another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. For any of your future appliance repair projects, please check out our other repair videos available on our site, on Facebook, and on YouTube.